Imagine having access to the strategies that banks and investors use to multiply their money, but which are kept quiet from the general public. These secrets aren't found in books or expensive courses, and that's exactly why you need to watch until the end. What you'll learn here could completely change your relationship with money and open doors that once seemed impossible. Could true wealth be tied to something much simpler than you think? Something millionaires practice daily but rarely admit. Stay until the end, because this revelation could be the turning point in your financial journey. And if you want to master these secrets before it's too late, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your future financial stronghold starts here. Here's where the story gets interesting. Most people think rich individuals made their wealth overnight, but that's not how it really works. They understand something most folks never learn. That money isn't just currency, it's a tool that can multiply itself while they sleep. Albert Einstein allegedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and there's a reason millionaires treat it like their best-kept secret. Picture this: a wealthy investor puts $10,000 into an index fund, averaging 10% returns annually. After 10 years, that money becomes $25,937 without them lifting a finger. After 20 years, it's $67,275. But here's the kicker: most people can't see past next month's bills to understand this magic. The rich don't just save money, they make their money work harder than they do. They know that time and patience can turn modest amounts into serious wealth. What separates millionaires from everyone else isn't just having money, it's knowing how to make that money multiply. They don't keep cash sitting in regular savings accounts earning pennies. Instead, they put it in assets that compound: quality stocks, real estate, or businesses that reinvest their profits. Warren Buffett didn't become one of the world's richest men by working harder than everyone else. He became wealthy by understanding that compound growth turns small investments into massive fortunes, but only if you start early and stay consistent. Now, here's something that'll make you rethink everything you know about debt. While most people run from borrowing money, millionaires actively seek it out, but not the way you'd expect. They've figured out how to use other people's money to buy assets that put cash in their pockets every month. Banks actually want to lend to them because they understand the difference between good debt and bad debt. Think about it this way: when someone takes out a mortgage to buy rental property, they're using the bank's money to purchase something that tenants will pay for. The rent covers the mortgage payment, and often there's money left over. Meanwhile, the property appreciates in value over time. Real estate moguls like Robert Kiyosaki built empires this way, using borrowed funds to acquire income-producing assets while keeping their own cash free for the next opportunity. The wealthy don't just leverage money, they leverage credit, partnerships, and investor funds too. They'll find private lenders willing to fund deals at lower rates than banks offer. Some create limited partnerships where others provide capital while they provide expertise. It's like having a team of people funding your wealth-building journey while you orchestrate the strategy. But there's another secret that makes this whole system work even better, and it's all about what they choose to buy with that borrowed money. Here's where most people get it completely wrong, and it costs them millions over their lifetime. The rich have trained themselves to see every purchase through a simple lens: does this put money in my pocket or take it out? While everyone else buys cars, boats, and fancy gadgets that lose value the moment they're purchased, millionaires are quietly building portfolios of things that pay them every month. They've rewired their brains to crave cash flow over status symbols. Let's break this down with a real example that might sting a little. The average person buys a $40,000 car that depreciates 20% the first year alone. A wealthy person takes that same $40,000 and buys dividend-paying stocks, yielding 4% annually. That's $1,600 per year in passive income, forever. Or they put it toward a duplex where tenants pay $2,000 monthly rent, while their mortgage is only $1,500. The car becomes worthless, the investment keeps paying them for decades. This mindset shift isn't just about big purchases either, it's about everything. Rich individuals buy books that teach them skills worth thousands, not expensive clothes that impress nobody important. They invest in education, businesses, and relationships that compound their wealth over time. Even their entertainment has purpose. They attend networking events instead of expensive concerts. Every dollar spent is evaluated like an employee. What return will this give me? But understanding assets is only part of the equation. There's still the question of how many income streams you really need. Here's something that'll shock you. The average millionaire has 7 different income streams. While most people put all their eggs in one basket, their job, wealthy individuals spread their money-making across multiple channels like a spider web. If one stream dries up, they've got 6 others keeping the cash flowing. This isn't just smart, it's survival instinct at the highest level. Picture a successful entrepreneur who owns a consulting business, rental properties, a stock portfolio, royalties from a book they wrote, and a small stake in a friend's restaurant. Even if their main business hits a rough patch, they're still earning from 5 other sources. Compare that to someone whose entire financial future depends on their employer's mood or the economy's health. Amazon's Jeff Bezos didn't stop at online retail. He expanded into cloud computing, space exploration, and media. Diversification isn't just about protection, it's about exponential growth. The beauty of multiple income streams is that they often feed each other. A real estate investor might use rental income to fund their next property purchase. An author's book sales lead to speaking engagements, which create consulting opportunities. Each stream doesn't just add to your wealth, it multiplies your opportunities to create more streams. But here's the kicker. Even with all this income flowing in, the wealthy have one more trick that lets them keep significantly more of what they earn. Now we're getting into territory that makes accountants rich and keeps millionaires wealthy. While most people just accept whatever tax bill the government sends them, wealthy individuals treat tax planning like a chess game, always thinking several moves ahead. They don't evade taxes, they legally minimize them using strategies most folks have never heard of. The difference between paying 35% and paying 15% on the same income can mean hundreds of thousands of dollars over a lifetime. Here's how this plays out in real life. A business owner structures their company to take advantage of depreciation on equipment and property. They write off legitimate business expenses like home office space, travel, and education. Meanwhile, they time their investments to benefit from long-term capital gains rates instead of ordinary income tax rates. Real estate investors use something called a 1031 exchange to roll profits from one property into another without paying taxes immediately. These aren't loopholes, they're legal strategies the tax code was designed to encourage. The wealthy also understand timing like master conductors. They'll harvest tax losses by selling underperforming investments to offset gains from winners. They contribute to retirement accounts and health savings accounts that reduce their taxable income today. Some even relocate to states with no income tax when it makes financial sense. Every decision factors in the tax implications because keeping an extra 20% of your income is like getting a permanent raise. But all these strategies mean nothing without the daily habits that keep millionaires ahead of the game. Here's the habit that separates the wealthy from everyone else, and it's so simple you might laugh, but don't. Rich individuals start every single day by reading financial news, market updates, and industry reports before most people even check their social media. They treat information like currency because in their world, knowing something first or understanding it better can be worth millions. While others scroll through entertainment, millionaires are absorbing knowledge that directly impacts their wealth. This isn't just casual browsing either, it's strategic intelligence gathering. A real estate mogul reads construction industry reports to spot upcoming material cost changes. A tech investor follows startup news and patent filings to identify the next big opportunity. They're not just staying informed, they're staying ahead of trends that others won't notice for months or years. Warren Buffett famously reads 500 pages a day, and Bill Gates blocks out, think weeks, twice a year just to digest information and plan strategy. But here's what makes this habit so powerful. They don't just consume information passively. Wealthy individuals take action on what they learn within hours or days, not weeks or months. They see a market shift and adjust their portfolio immediately. They spot a new opportunity and start making calls that same morning. This combination of constant learning and rapid execution creates a compound effect that accelerates their wealth building far beyond what any single investment could achieve. Yet there's something even more important than individual habits, and it's about understanding why this knowledge isn't widely shared. Now we're getting to the uncomfortable truth that financial institutions would rather you never discover. Banks make their money by keeping yours, and they've built an entire system designed to keep you borrowing, spending, and staying dependent on their services. Think about it: if everyone understood compound interest, leveraging, and tax optimization, who would need expensive financial advisors charging 2% annual fees? Who would keep money in savings accounts earning 0.5% while inflation eats away at purchasing power? The entire consumer economy depends on people making financially illiterate decisions. Credit card companies thrive when you carry balances and pay minimum amounts. Mortgage lenders profit from 30-year loans instead of 15-year ones. Investment firms love when you panic sell during market dips and buy high during bubbles. They've spent billions on marketing to convince people that debt is normal, that renting is smarter than owning, and that you need their expensive products to build wealth. Meanwhile, they're using these exact secrets we've been discussing to multiply their own profits. Here's the kicker: the same institutions telling you to save for retirement and diversify your portfolio are the ones lending your deposited money to real estate investors at higher interest rates. They're teaching you to be conservative with small amounts while they're being aggressive with large amounts, your amounts. The wealthy understand this game and play by different rules entirely. They borrow from banks to buy assets, then use those assets' income to pay back the loans while keeping the appreciation. But knowing these secrets is only half the battle. The real question is how you can start using them immediately. Here's where the rubber meets the road, and you don't need $1 million to start thinking like a millionaire. The first move is opening a high-yield savings account or money market account that pays at least 4–5% interest instead of the pathetic 0.1% your current bank offers. Then automate transfers so you're paying yourself first, even if it's just $100 monthly. This isn't about the amount, it's about rewiring your brain to prioritize wealth building over spending. Next, start your education immediately by reading Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki and The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. These books will change how you see every financial decision. Download apps like Mint or YNAB to track exactly where your money goes each month. Most people have no clue they're spending $200 monthly on subscriptions they forgot about. Once you see the numbers, you can redirect that money toward your first investment. Even opening a brokerage account with $500 and buying an S&P 500 index fund starts your compound interest journey. The key is starting small but starting immediately, because time is your greatest asset when compound interest is involved. Set up automatic investments so you never have to think about it, just like the wealthy do. Begin networking with people who think about money differently than your current circle. Join real estate investment groups, attend financial literacy workshops, or find online communities focused on wealth building. Your environment shapes your mindset, and your mindset determines your financial future. But there's one critical mistake that stops most people from ever reaching millionaire status, even when they know all these secrets. Here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to hear. Most people fail to build wealth not because they don't know what to do, but because they won't delay gratification long enough to see results. They'll start investing for 3 months, see no dramatic change, and blow their emergency fund on a vacation. They understand compound interest intellectually, but can't resist the new car payment that eats up their investment money for the next 5 years. The wealthy think in decades, while everyone else thinks in months. This impatience shows up everywhere in their financial lives. They'll chase get-rich-quick schemes instead of boring index funds that consistently return 10% annually. They'll buy individual stocks hoping to hit it big rather than building diversified portfolios that protect their wealth. When the market dips 20%, they panic and sell everything, exactly when they should be buying more. Rich individuals see market crashes as sales events. Regular folks see them as disasters. The difference is time horizon and emotional control. The most expensive mistake of all. Lifestyle inflation that keeps pace with income increases. Someone gets a $10,000 raise and immediately upgrades their car, apartment, and spending habits by $10,000. Their wealth stays flat while their income grows, trapping them in an endless cycle of working for money instead of making money work for them. Millionaires increase their income but keep their expenses stable, funneling every extra dollar into wealth-building assets. They live below their means not because they have to, but because they understand the true cost of lifestyle inflation. Understanding this mistake is crucial, but what matters most is what you do with all this knowledge starting right now. So here you are, armed with the same knowledge that millionaires use to build and multiply their wealth. But knowledge without action is just expensive entertainment, and the clock is ticking on your financial future. The wealthy don't wait for perfect conditions or more money. They start with what they have and build from there. Your first move should happen within 24 hours of watching this video, whether that's opening an investment account, reading one of those recommended books, or calculating exactly how much you're spending on liabilities versus assets. Remember, every millionaire started exactly where you are right now, with a decision to think differently about money. They faced the same doubts, the same limited starting funds, and the same complex financial system. What separated them wasn't luck or connections, it was the willingness to apply these principles consistently over time. Compound interest doesn't care about your background, leveraging works regardless of your current income, and multiple income streams can start with skills you already possess. The only difference between you and them is that they started, and they didn't stop. The beautiful truth about these secrets is that they work for anyone willing to implement them, but they only work if you implement them. You can know everything about compound interest and still retire broke if you never start investing. You can understand leveraging, but never build wealth if you're too afraid to take calculated risks. The wealthy aren't smarter than you, they're just more committed to their financial future than their immediate comfort. Your wealth journey begins with your very next financial decision, and that decision is completely in your control. So let me ask you something that could change everything. What's your excuse going to be 5 years from now when you're still in the same financial position you're in today? Will you blame the economy, your salary, or bad luck, or will you admit you had the roadmap to wealth but chose comfort over commitment? These aren't just strategies, they're your blueprint to financial freedom, but blueprints don't build houses, action does. Here's what I want you to do right now, before you click away and forget everything you just learned. Pick just one of these secrets and commit to implementing it this week. Will you open that high-yield savings account and automate your first $100 transfer? Will you download one of those recommended books and actually read it? Will you calculate how much you're spending on depreciating assets versus appreciating ones? The wealthy became wealthy because they turned knowledge into habits and habits into wealth. But here's the real question that should keep you up tonight. If you don't start building wealth now, with all this knowledge, when will you? Next year, when you get that raise. When the market is better. The millionaires didn't wait for perfect conditions, they created them. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make right now, today, in this moment. If you're serious about transforming your financial future and want to master more wealth-building secrets like these, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Don't let this be just another video you watched, make it the moment everything changed. Your millionaire mindset starts now.